There we go. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm here with Kat. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kat. I appreciate your time, girl.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, you stop. All right. So let's get right into the questions. So, question number one: what made you want to play soccer at a high level?
Honestly, after college, I just assumed I would have like that feeling of like, okay, ready to move on to the next step, career, buy soccer. And like, I was like, no, like, this is not done. Like, I feel like I've barely tapped what I can do. Like, I want more. I want more competitiveness. Like, you know, being on teams, I'm sure you've been there where like feeling like no one's as competitive or wants it as much as you. And I wanted to feel what it would be like to be on a team surrounded by people who had the same level of desire. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not done. This is not it. We got to keep going. We got to figure out somehow. Yeah.
Guess we're not done.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we keep going. All right. We'll figure that out. Make
Yep,
life real.
that's
We're gonna figure it out.
yep, here we go. All right. All right, question number two. So, what's your soccer background to like previous levels from like Pee Wee to college? What were your levels? Where'd you go at? Where was you doing?
Okay, so soccer started for me. There was a little sign on the road, and my parents said, "Oh, there's rec soccer. Do you want to do that?" And I said, "Yeah." My parents knowing zero about soccer. I mean, they know it now, but yeah. So started at 6. I can like vividly remember being 6 years old at practice running and thinking this is like the best time of my life. And so like from instantly was like, oh, love this. So played rec until club started around 10, played club, played for my high school, played ODP, and then I played at St. Edward's University for my first 3 years of college, smaller D2 school in Austin, Texas. And then some kind of unethical financial stuff came up from the school. Love the teachers, love the sports staff, but administration was known to be it's a private school, so they're kind of allowed to do unethical things. So, like a week before school starts, they're like, by the way, we're pulling some of your financial aid a week before. And apparently, I was not the first to have that done. And people just end up paying it because they want to finish. And so I was like, no, I can't do that. So I played my last year at UL, University of Lafayette, Louisiana, which is literally 10 minutes away from my house. So moved back home, played my last year. And then actually, COVID hit like pretty much as soon as I was done with soccer there. So there was like a year where I couldn't play. Like I wanted to try to play abroad, I wanted to do something, but there was nothing. So I had like a year off. Then next summer comes around and I haven't played for a year. Was kind of somewhat injured, hip and back. So kind of came back and played for my summer league team in the States. They have GCPL, WPSL, just summer. So played that. Was hurt most of the time. So another year goes around to the next summer. And before that, I had also tried out for Racing Louisville, the NWSL team, and hip was injured during it and was told, you should go play in Europe. You need to work on your tactics. So next summer comes around, can't find a team, play on the same summer league team, not injured, did well. We won. Go us. And then I thought, okay, I guess I'm done. Like I've tried going abroad. I've tried like can't find anything. And then I found the combine. And now I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah.
She said, from the sign on the streets to speaking Deutsch. Okay, yes, ma'am. And just for like the listeners who are non-American or even Americans who don't know. So I just want to
Yeah.
shout out ODP right quick because I also did ODP. And you brought back so many memories saying ODP because, okay, so first, ODP is Olympic Development Program. And it's just like, I don't know, my childhood memories of doing ODP was just so starstruck. That's like the feeling I guess I can associate with ODP was you just felt, I mean, Tony DeChico was my coach at one of my first ODP camps. So one of the first women's national team coaches in the States was my coach for ODP. So I was super young and I just had one of the best coaches known in women's football to be my coach. And I was like, oh, okay. let me just pull out some Mia Hamm stuff right quick. So that's like what
Yeah.
I associate ODP. So I'm just curious, like little sidetrack, but like, what was your experience with ODP? Did you like it? Did it feel worth it to you?
So yes, but not at first. So Louisiana, not a soccer hub. We are not a big. It's growing, but when I was little, like again, it was a sign on the side of the road. No one knew soccer. So ODP mom was like, "Hey, there's this like thing. Do you want to try out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." First year we make it, and it's like that sounds like really cool. Olympic development program. You make your state team. We like Louisiana was not hard to make. Like we needed players, honestly. So I play, and it was good for me because I saw players who were on a different level. So it kind of at first I was like, "This is fun. We're just playing," and I was like, "Oh, like these girls are good. Like I'm used to being one of the better ones on the team, and I wasn't." And for me, that wasn't discouraging. I was like, "Oh, okay, we can do more." Then my next year for my club team, I was a goalie full time. So the next year for ODP, when I tried out, did not make it, lost all foot skills, but you know what? It's fine. My thing was is our education of soccer in Louisiana is terrible. So I didn't understand that Olympic development program meant it was a ladder to the Olympic team. Like no I just thought this was a cool summer like team thing. Like I thought it was a camp basically. So I didn't make it. And so the next couple years kind of didn't try out. And then it was my last year. And my mom said, "You have to try out if you want to play for college." Because in her mind, it's a recruiting thing, which it is. That's not the main reason for it, but there's college coaches that go, there's college coaches that coach the teams. And so I said, fine, I want to play college, I guess I'll go. So I made the state team again. We need players. But then I made our region team, which was actually legit. And so then we go, I meet Brandy Chastain.
Name
So
drop.
the stardom, the fangirling, yeah, like that was like, and like I was playing with players who were going to Yale, like playing,
Yup.
and just players that have gone pro that have played at Racing Louisville, like so I knew then like, oh shit, this is like a big deal. Are we allowed to curse on here? Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like this is it. This is cool. This is like how you like I finally they broke it down into like region team, like then national team. And so I like sorry, I just got a deep. Why did you put that
We can make edits.
out? Okay.
We back. So the regional team.
Yes. So like I was like, okay, that is so legit. Like that's when I realized it was like it did the same thing it did for me when I was younger. It opened my eyes into there's another level. This is how you go pro. These girls are going pro. So it was worth it. But I always like wished I would have understood it fully when I was younger. But you know, you can't. Like you can't go back. No one taught me that. I wasn't supposed to just know that. So it did open my eyes to another level each time I played it. And yes, like the just like feeling like a fangirl, but having to be like, I'm here, I have to be serious. So like I feel you. Like having a coach like that, I don't know how you would have played. Like I was freaking out just being around the girls I was. And like then she comes in and I'm like, oh my, I can't breathe.
Oh
Like,
my God.
yeah. Yeah.
Girl. I don't like the funny thing was so I did ODP fairly young as well. And I have no excuse not understanding what ODP was because my club growing up, we were so good. Like, I don't know what was in the water where I lived. My club coach was also just amazing. Shout out to my cook. Like, our team was the bomb. And then I ended up moving to a club, I don't know, if FC Delco. So, like, FC Delco is one of like the bigger ECNL clubs in my area. And they've always been
Mhm.
good. Like, it
Yeah.
was one of those clubs when I joined the team. So, I'm pretty sure, Lord forgive me, because it's been a minute since I've done club soccer, but I'm fairly certain. So our jackets had like the stars, and the stars that were colored in, I'm pretty sure were the amount of times that they made it to nationals. Fairly certain. I think
Okay.
national finals. Also could be pulling stuff out of my butt. I don't know. Somebody correct me if you hear this different.
And the stars.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm on a legit club. Like
Yeah.
it costs money to be on this club, one of those types of clubs.
Huh.
And I was doing ODP And I also didn't realize that like Olympic development program meant you're leading up to like the Olympic team. So like
Right.
I'm young, being coached by Tony DeChico. And I remember bringing home, I really hope I got to go through my childhood home. I got to go through all my stuff. I have a notebook from ODP and Tony DeChico like signed something in my notebook and all this stuff. And I remember bringing it home to my dad. And it didn't, I was so young, I didn't put two and two together who Tony DeChico was because I didn't do research. I just showed up to kick a ball around, you know? Like we're just kids.
We're
And I
just
bring
playing.
it home and my dad goes, baby, do you know who that is? I said, what you talking about? He said, that's Tony DeChico. I said, uh-huh, that was my coach. Like, yes, that was the name of the man who coached me.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like that was like he coached like the national team. And I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, like Mia Hamm, like he knows them, like kind of a big deal. And I was like, huh. Well, he just coached me for a whole week. That's cool. And it was such a
Oh
kid reaction, like how you were just like, we were just so ignorant to the level that we were exposed to. And I was just like, fun week, good time. And unfortunately, I mean, how old are you? You're not that much younger than me. You're 2 years
my God.
younger than me. Okay, so you're like 2.5 years younger than me, something like that. So I like at least in the years that I did ODP, maybe it was just my region. Every region is different. So like Louisiana, very different from the Pennsylvania. So like for Pennsylvania, because we're pretty like our sports are pretty
Yeah,
decently
yeah.
good, like for almost everything. And so the
White
area
flex.
was well developed. Philly. And so like the area was well developed and it was so hard to make it. And I remember making the pool for the regional team. And then I think I made the regional team. I did ODP twice. I did for 2 years. And after the second year was when my dad started to realize how political it was. So then my parents just decided like it's not worth the money. It's becoming more political than it is about the talent because I remember there were some girls who made the team that I remember just doing so much better than. And it really frustrated me because in my head, I'm thinking, this whole thing is about picking the best of the best to keep moving up the ladder. Once I became conscious of like it is a trial system and you're making teams,
Yes,
and then
yes.
I was
There's
like,
that.
wait, not all the good girls are making it. And then I realized the girls who had talent but didn't have the money, their parents weren't anybody in the league or they didn't have connections. And so when it became apparent that it was so political, I like my dad and my mom were just kind of like, we're not dropping bread for you to go to this political stunt of an agency type thing. So at least in my region, it just became so redundant as someone who wanted to purely have talent, work hard, and get noticed. It became such a political money grab, who you know type of deal. So I'm fairly certain ODP fell apart, at least near me. Like I haven't heard this again. I could be pulling some stuff out my butt, but I'm fairly certain that ODP kind of fell off. I should say fell off a bit,
Right.
and
Exist wasn't what it was.
nothing close to
Yeah.
what because I had like I mean, my parents still live where we've always lived, and so like my dad is obsessed with sports, so he knows all the sports, and he's like, I don't think ODP is what it used to be because it became so political. So I just wondered like how your experience was because my memory is giving up on that program because it became more political than about actual talent, which is kind of upsetting. And I hope it got fixed, but
Yeah. No, I think for me it was like I said, the state team we needed numbers. It wasn't political. It was like, please, can you play? Like we didn't have 11. Like, yeah, but with the region team, I think I mean, there's politics in it. Like there always is. So to be like, oh, it's not political, it was. But like honestly, at that time, I was one of the worst players on the team, and I wasn't paying extra money. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have those connections. So for me to make the team, and I was like definitely one of the bubble players. They probably were deciding between me and a couple other girls and picked me. So for me, like I never thought of it as political, and more of it was like, oh, like this is my last year, and I'm just realizing what this is. So I mean, but there's always politics in soccer. So like to say it's not just because I didn't personally experience it there, like there always is. So
always. Oh, God. I can't wait till politics. Well, yeah, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother thing. All right. So next question. So you talked about your levels and how your levels ended up bringing you to the combine. So how did you hear about the combine?
Instagram. I actually the week before was like looking for I would trying to reach out to teams, and so I would look up on their website their email address and stuff, but then I'd go to Insta to see if they had like any other information on how to reach them. And then like so my For You page that week was strictly soccer stuff. And then I saw that, and so I thought, oh, God's timing is always fine. And so I saw it and I was like, this could be a scam. Like, let's be real. It's all about the money. Like, there's scams in women's soccer. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I submit my phone, and then I had a call with Flo and Danny, and then I was like, oh, this is legit. Like, okay, we're good. But yeah, Instagram.
That's wild. The funny thing about you finding out through Instagram was right before the Vinta Pausa here for the league. I met up with Flo and he was like, all right, look, I'm gonna take some videos of you and you're gonna just answer some questions. I was not prepared. I need you to know that that man set me up. I was so unprepared. He had me go to the Sportschule and we just met to talk about the dynamics of the combine, what he at that time planned for it to look like, what the
Yeah.
sessions were going to be, because I was going home. He knew I was going to go home and then I was going back to Israel to visit teammates and then I was going to be in Berlin and then back here. So I was hopping. So we wanted to have a meeting to discuss what the combine was going to look like. Meanwhile, at this point, I'm strictly an ambassador. I was not, I don't know if you know,
Right.
I was never planned to actually be a part of it
Yeah, yeah.
at all. And not even just as a player, even as a staff member. I was not
Like you were just
supposed to
supposed to
be.
support and like getting the word out. Thank
Yeah,
God
I
you.
was girl because he in his perspective it made sense. I'm an American playing in Germany. It's being hosted in the city that I'm playing in. It would just make sense for me to show up and say, hey y'all, this is how it is, this is how it works. If you need any one-on-one talks, you have any questions, I'm here. So I was more supposed to be kind of like a I'm the face of what it could be type thing, and then it just
Right.
completely flipped into something else. But he put me on blast. I show up and he goes, all right, so cool, we got the session. This is what it's gonna look like. We got the organization, and I'm about to leave. And he goes, all right, wait a minute. I'm gonna have you answer some questions to interview you to put on the Instagram page. I said, sir, first of all, I look crusty. I don't know why you would have me do some questions for an interview. I don't, this is it. My afro was not fluffed. Like I just felt very attacked. So I said, okay. So he just whipped out his phone and we're in the lobby area of the football hall of the Sportschule and I'm just answering questions on the fly. So anybody who saw the videos of me on the Instagram page is so funny to me because it was so like for me, out of nowhere, out of the blue, he said, hey, you gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna put them on the Instagram page. I
Hey,
said,
can I video you real quick?
and I was so unprepared. I said, wait a minute, what you mean interview? And he took videos and he's posting them. And then I didn't get to see the videos after he took them. So I saw them when y'all saw them. So for anybody who found out through Instagram, my first thought was, oh my God, please tell me that they did not watch those embarrassing videos of me answering questions. I felt like such a goober.
We did. But think about it. We saw that and said, yeah, we're coming.
That's so weird to me. Oh, because I don't know. I guess I need to start doing a better job of looking at myself in that way because I am doing it. So it's not
Yeah.
weird to be used as a spokesperson for it. But especially I guess it's weird for me now because of how close we are after to think
Yeah.
like, oh, the friends that I have now that I feel like I've known forever saw me through an Instagram interview on some page that they saw through an ad.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like we saw you as like, oh, she's doing it. Like we want to be like her. And like, so it's like we're still like that. But now it's like cool to be like a peer instead of like looking at you as like, honestly, I was coming in like, oh my God, she's going to judge me. She's going to see how I play. And she's going to be like, you need to go back home. Like, so we were like almost in, I mean, personally, I was like intimidated. I was like, oh my God, this girl is playing in Germany and she's gracing us with her presence. No.
Crazy. It's so and then you meet me and she is not intimidating at all. This girl.
I mean, you can still play, but like,
But
and
like
like
me as a
smaller,
person
but
is
like
just so not intimidating.
no, no. Now you're just like a best friend. So like we're cool now.
Literally, I ended up just like I don't even know if I might have to cut this from the interview. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that I was staying at the sports Shula, so we might have to cut this. But it's just crazy because we spent every waking moment together.
Yeah.
Every waking moment. The only time we weren't around each other was when we were sleeping
Yes.
for 10 days.
And didn't get sick of each other.
At all. We was pissed that it was over. I was like,
I,
ugh, how
I was
dare
in
you
tears.
leave?
I was so upset I came back 2 weeks later.
You're like, you know what? Wait a minute. Let me just catch flight. That's so, oh my God. Wow. Look what Instagram, see, this is the thing, y'all. Social media is the devil, but it does have its perks, like bringing people together for combines and you getting to hear my rambles on podcasts. So we love social media, but it is toxic. Okay. Next
Yeah.
question. So, what were you expecting versus the reality of what actually came from the combine?
Okay. So going into it, I was almost expecting like a trial, basically, like, which it was, but like typical trials where you show up every practice, every game, every warm up, every little thing is being watched and like graded essentially. You have a place to stay, you have a place to eat, but they're there to watch you play soccer. Whereas we came in, we were provided places to eat and sleep, but we were put in an environment that it was like, okay, let's practice, let's make sure you feel good and get your jet lag out, make sure you get any bad touches, get your legs underneath you. Do you need anything? So I felt like they made sure we felt super comfortable and like it wasn't judgmental at first. It was you getting set or comfortable in a new environment prior to going into a game because like we wanted to be seen like any trial you want to be seen by coaches, you want to do well, but it felt like get comfortable and then we'll go versus okay, you're here, show me what you can do after you just got off a plane, after you just did whatever, like they let you adapt or like what's the word, I don't know,
Settle
let you
in.
settle in. And then so when we started to play, like I wasn't nervous. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Like I felt so confident in my preparation because they allowed us those couple days to play at a high level. It's not like we were just like pissing around. Like we were playing. We were 4v4ing the shit out of them.
Like, oh man, that indoor place did some things to my body, but we was moving in that joint.
We were balling. So, but like but we were balling because we weren't stressed. We were just playing and it was fun. And then when it was time to perform in front of coaches, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, let's go. I've like, I was so excited and like itching to play. So I just felt like it was more making sure, like, I guess usually a trial, you go and it's you and the coaches and it's like almost on two different sides. We came and we had like mom and dad taking care of us, prepping for the coaches. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's so yeah, yeah, that's exactly probably what I would have thought if I came into it from your guys' perspective of, okay, this is just gonna be a typical trial, and then they're gonna see me, and then I'm gonna be stressed out and pressured, and then I'm gonna be judged,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna say yes or no. But that's not what that was. So would you say that it met your expectations?
Yes, because I got the exposure I wanted, but I think it would go higher than my expectations because of the way they handled it. It wasn't just exposure, it was making sure you were exposed in a safe environment for the players. And then not just like aside from soccer, you have to live here, you have to be able to like adapt to the culture. So like them exposing us to that was also above my expectations because they're showing like this isn't just about coaches picking you. Like, do you want to live here? Is this someplace you can set down roots? And for some of the players, they're like, I really appreciate this experience. I have good film, but like, no, like I don't want to live in Germany. And so like that for them was also like a empowering thing to like not just be like, okay, coach, please pick me yes or no at all costs. It was like, do I want this too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all about it's a two-way street, y'all. It is not just you wanting the coaches to pick you. You get to pick them. It is very much
Yeah.
a two-way street. You don't just take whatever is thrown at you. You have to also want what is being given to you, and you have just as much control. So remember that they
Yeah.
need you. They need you. Don't get it twisted. They need you. Without you, what team they got?
Yeah.
Think about that. Without us, what job do they got? Nothing. Anyway, so what would you say was your favorite part? It doesn't have to be football related. It can be social side, or you can give one of each aspect, the social and the football. But what was your favorite part, would you say?
Um, football wise, I'm sorry, football. It, it was everyone having that same mindset of wanting to play on that level. Like I said earlier, like being on teams where you're like, can everyone want this as much as I do? Like you were surrounded by players like that. And so like that was it made soccer so much more fun. Social side, the Hoffenheim game. Like a professional game, like I felt like I was at an NFL game at home, except I wanted to watch with the players on the field. Like so I was like the hype around it. I was like, I love the fact that everyone here is enjoying soccer because at home it's like you do what?
They
Like
play
it's just
soccer.
mm, you're a grass fairy.
I was just about to say Grassberry. They say that there too.
Mm,
They used to say
just
that in high school. And I was like, who you calling Grassberry? First of all, I used to be a bit mad about it. I'd be like, I know you talking about men because the women ain't no fairies. Okay. We don't be diving for no fouls. Yes, that's shade. but I mean, we were front row, bro.
yeah.
We
No,
had
we were on
front row
TV
seat.
those in those goals. We were in the highlights.
I forgot we were all up on TV. Wow.
Oh,
What an
yeah,
experience. Wow. I love that for you. Wow. What a time.
for
All
us.
right. Yeah, us. I was there. Um, so do you feel opportunities like this can change the game for women's football overseas?
100% because I think there are so many girls that would like to do what we're doing, but just see zero path to do it. And so they move on and they just don't. And I think like in the States, like there's not promotion, relegation, there's one league. So after college, there is one league, you're either in it or you're not. And it's a high level. Like there's not a lot of spots. It's a high level. There's politics to it. So it's like that or you're done. And so there's so many girls with such great talent that could be playing here. And so it's just about access and like agents and agencies are can be so shitty and so like they can take your money and you can still not get the access to teams here. So amen. Like
Been there.
so yes, like absolutely the combine is like there needs to be one in every European country that has women football leagues, in my opinion.
Easy, easily. Like,
Yeah.
come on, y'all, step up. All right, next question. So, how does this compare to showcases at home? Like, how does the combine compare to a typical just soccer showcase in America?
Um, I would say it's similar in that the coaches here, they came to watch the games and they're seeing who they're not necessarily looking at what team is winning. They're looking at what players are standing out, making a difference, communicating, who has the touch, the soccer IQ. Um, I guess the difference would be from a showcase. There's I don't know if this is really applicable for the combine, but like at home, if you're in a showcase, you know your team. So like there's more chemistry. Whereas we were literally a hodgepodge group of girls who like to play soccer. And like I thought we did great team wise being what we were. Like we connected really quickly. But like, let's be real, all of us, if we would have played a month together, how much better those games would have been. So I also think it was like how it showed how well you could adapt within a setting because that's I feel like that's also important here because you're being thrown in. You don't know the language, you don't know anyone, so you need to be able to adapt. Like you can everyone can play really well when you're with your team of 18 that you've known since you were 4, you know.
Yep.
And so that was one thing, like not having that team chemistry to rely on. But it was the same in that coaches are coming to watch you play and it's not really about the score at the end of the day, it's about how you personally did.
Well answered. Wow. All right. Last question. Well, kind of last question. Would you prefer an overseas combine like we did, or a trial with a pro team in the States? One, so a trial with one pro team in the NWSL that you know for sure that the team has like asked you for the trial, they want you to come. Obviously, no guarantee because it's a trial, or a combine like we did.
Um, Being that I've had both, like the Racing Louisville was an invitational one only, and showed up, and you think it's an invitation because like they are looking, it's not an open trial, like they selected you, so you think it's going to be like super serious, super whatever. And don't get me wrong, it was good, it was a good level, but there was like 200 girls there. Like, you're not seeing me. Like, there, I don't think one girl from that was picked. Maybe one. There was like one girl in my mind that I remember standing out, but 200, it's just their coaching staff. Like, it was a high level. It was a fun couple days to play, but like I don't feel like I was seen. Like, so they I don't even know how they would have made money off of it because like it was an invitational, so we paid to get there, but we didn't pay to try out because it was an invitational. So I didn't feel like I at the end of the day I came back from it and they said work on your tactics. So it was nice to go play in Europe. So it was nice to get some feedback and to be able to say I was invited. But at the end of the day, like I went home thinking that was super fun, but I don't think I'm gonna get anything from it. Whereas here I was like, okay, I have options. Like what, and it was like options on different levels too, you know, like it's not just one or done. It was you can play on this regional league team, probably get good minutes, like play a lot. There's upper level teams that maybe we could get you on. You might not see the field as much, but it's a higher level. So I feel like there was teams within both regions of that. So I felt like there was the one and done is not ideal versus here you got film, you got seen by multiple coaches, and you had the experience of going overseas. So I would 100% pick the combine.
Great answer. Okay. And then I guess like final question of the interview questions, because I got some bonus questions for Kat, y'all. So I mean, it's quite clear you've spoken highly of this experience, but would you recommend this experience to like friends at home, women you've played with, if someone's curious about wanting to expand their career? Is this something you would recommend to them?
I would recommend it, but not necessarily to everyone. Like, I think it was a great experience, but like, let's be real, like flying across the ocean to a different continent and being in a place you don't speak the language, know nothing about, and playing soccer with complete strangers, while it was 100% worth it and I had a blast, like it is not for everyone. Like it's not for the weak of heart. Like
Nope.
it's a big step. So you have to like fully understand like it's not gonna be a walk in the park. You're gonna have to be mentally tough for it. Like so I would recommend it, but I would recommend it to the girls I knew were serious about it. Like to me, it was less about recommending it about the combine, but more about do you have what it takes to handle that?
That's a
Yeah.
shoe, because when I tell you not everybody can do this,
Yeah.
and not in a way of trying to come off insulting or like better than that, but genuinely the mental gymnastics, the emotional spirals, the all of it, it is just it's a ride, and you need to
Yeah.
be prepared to be hit with anything. I mean, like there's stuff that comes up in the process of trying to make a team overseas, and you're like, that's a thing? Like,
Yeah.
why is this a thing? And you're like, I just want to kick a ball. I just want to kick a ball. That's it.
Yeah. Not like in a I'm so strong, I can do this. It's like you have to love the sport so much. Like if you have any like, do I like it that much? No. Like I have to be like, you're gonna get XYZ. I have to list like all the terrible things, and you still are like, you know what? I'd play soccer for that. Like,
Yep.
oh, not everyone loves it that much, and that's fine. But like, you have to love it more than like it has to be irrational.
It's it's an irrational love. It's a love hate, but mostly love because the hate's only for the drama. The love is all for the sport, to be honest. There's no hate that I have anywhere in my heart for football. It is just the drama aspect of doing this, especially as a woman. My God. But
Ugh,
mm. Okay, so we got some bonus questions for Kat because spoiler alert, your girl is back here in Germany. We are doing this interview in the same time zone, and I'm absolutely lit about it. So Kat is what I would call our first success story of the combine.
they
I
can't
know
see
you,
it. I'm
yeah, you can't see it unless you watch the YouTube video, which also subscribe to the channel and watch the YouTube video, but she's blushing. So Kat, I've got some bonus questions for you. So obviously the combine went well for you, and as it should, and well deserved because you did your thing. But what people don't know, okay, so we had all of our trainings that we talked about, right, guys? And we were indoor the entire time. So I'm gonna get into more of the details, but basically, we went into this game. We had to take players from the other team that we played against because we only had what, nine, including me.
Nine, including you. Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus. So we had nine girls, right? Women, we're young women. And Kat just gets a little injured first game. And I was like, Lord, ain't no way. We already down one. And then we had another girl go down. And I was like, this is crazy. So Kat's playing in pain. We're losing another girl. She sits out. We're down a player. It was a whole hot mess. Then we get into the next game. Girls playing in pain and just balling. I mean, balling. That second game was such a step up from our first game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh God, the first game was pain. The second game was so much better and against a better team. So I think that is a good testament to us as well that against the better team, we did better.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I'm just saying we're amazing. But clearly it worked out for you. So I just want to know what was going through your mind heading back home, knowing that there was a very, very strong possibility that you were going to come back and actually like do the thing.
It was like a weird, like it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening type thing. Like it was like, yeah, like I felt like so excited, but also like so calm, thinking like this is what I came here to do. So of course this is what happened. Like I've like wanted this so long that like there's no way, like I feel like if you want something that badly, it's for a reason. And it's because that's what you're meant to do. Like, why would you have that desire if it's not meant to be? And so I was so like, yes, this is happening. Like, of course this is happening. I've put in the work. I went to the combine. I did everything I could, injured, not injured. Side note, I think I came off the field and you said, "Are you okay?" And I had tears in my eyes. I said, "No." And they gave me a horse-size pain pill. And I said, "Oh, I'm good." But yeah, so we were good at that. But yeah, like I
Horse
gave up.
size, y'all. This pill was massive.
It was a struggle. Um, but yeah, like I was like calm, like I was excited, but I was like, this is yeah, it's not going to be easy. There's still stepping stones I need to take, but like it's going to happen.
Oh, I love, see, that is the confidence that you need to have. Don't, if there's one thing that I can say about all of you guys was that you all left the combine in your own mindsets. Everybody had their own personal experience with the combine. And some people had what they felt was more success than others. But overall, I would say all of you guys had a level of success because you took the chance, you took the leap, and now your face, your name, and your exposure is in Germany.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly why you should have had that confidence going home, knowing that there was coaches that wanted to take another look at you because that's literally what you came here to do. So it's really good to hear that you left on a confident note and not a, oh my gosh, this is a dream world thing, because it's not a dream world. You didn't just wake up to an email in your inbox saying, hey, I heard about you through the grapevine. You took all the risks possible and put in all the effort that you had to show that it was worth it for both people, because again, two-way street. And
Right.
you went home saying, well, duh, now I just gotta figure out what to do with my life in America because that's about to be uprooted right quick. So I mean, 2 week
Yeah.
turnaround, right? You got home and
Yeah.
had 2 weeks to get your life together to come back for another chance to make a team.
Yes. 2 weeks and like it wasn't like, okay, you have 2 weeks, you're leaving this day. It was like, okay, I can be here as soon as 2 weeks. But I was told less than 24 hours. I was told at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday I needed to fly out at midday on a Wednesday. So I said I was at work and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna have to go home and leave early for today because I gotta go pack. I gotta catch a flight. I need to go to the pharmacy. I need to go to the bank. I need to go to." So 2 weeks at home, trying to fit in, seeing everyone, saying goodbye. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, actually, hey, everyone I didn't say goodbye to, I can't because I gotta catch this plane in less than 24 hours.
That's, bro. So, okay. Me and Kat have obviously kept in contact since she left and came back, but I
Yeah.
did not know it was that. But see, that's something like the turnaround can be like that. So that's another thing when you leave with what I would consider to be the utmost success that you can have from a combine, which is leaving, knowing that coaches want you to come back within the same signing window to say, hey, we saw you, we want you before this window closes. To have it happen so quickly because we're grown adult, like y'all, we're grown with jobs, cars, connections, family at home. So you got these people in other
Yeah.
countries saying, hey, by the way, drop everything that you care about and live and have worked hard for and come over here and kick a ball for us. And you're like, okay. And you just make it work. And I've
It's
noticed,
the fact that it's just okay, yes. Like, yeah.
okay, because
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. And that's the thing, you have to have that, okay, attitude. Like, okay, just gonna hop on a plane. Hey, boss, I gotta take a half day.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna come into work tomorrow either, by the way.
Half day and my 2 weeks. By the way, that's starting tomorrow. But
My 2 weeks notice is tomorrow. So really it's less than 24-hour notice. And thank you for all you've done for me. Goodbye. So it's
yeah.
like, but it's also, I don't know, it's just so it's super cool for like from my aspect to have done this with you guys from the standpoint of I've got my team here. So I was really just wanting to give as much of a realistic perspective for you guys on what it would look like if you do make it work here. And as much as Germany's massive, like it's not obviously when you think about the stage, Germany's not big. Germany's a big country and
Yeah.
there's a lot of football here. It is the sport. It is the sport. So you think about each region and then all the clubs in the region, and then you go up to levels to like Bundesliga and Bundesliga's five, and like you have all those. There's so many clubs here, and you're thinking, okay, I got seen by maybe two or three, but word gets around, y'all. The soccer world is so small. You get in one person's inbox, you're probably in someone else's inbox as well. Because sometimes teams, they want you, but if you get lucky and they have a conscience, they may be aware, okay, we'd love to have this person, but we can't afford them, or we don't have the means, or it just isn't the right time, or we don't have any space. And sometimes clubs are smart or cool or I don't know, I guess gracious enough to send your film to other clubs who because coaches are friends with coaches, club owners are friends with club owners, managers are friends with managers. So
Yeah.
you get met with a gracious enough person who's big enough to understand that it's more than just a selfish game of I want the best player for myself. So if I can't have her this season, then no one can. No, you can sometimes find the gems in there that are saying, okay, obviously this is this person's life and career as well. So let me pass it on to my buddy. I know they're looking for this person. I know they're looking for this position. Or hey, I think this person could adjust to that position. And your name can get spread around and you have no idea. So for you to leave the combine and people be like, wait, bring that back. It was just so cool for me because I got a message from Flo and he's like, yeah, so Cat's catching a flight. I messaged you so fast. I was like, girl, you sent me a snap on the plane. I was like, oh my God, it's
Oh, it's
happening.
like I was like, I'm literally like leaving right now. Like I'm in the air. Yeah.
Guys, I got a snap and I opened the snap and she's in the seat of the plane. I said, you coming back like right now. So it was just, it was fast for me. I can only imagine how fast it went for you. But okay, so as somebody who went through the combine and now you've been invited back for a trial, right? So the steps of what's supposed to happen post combine, coming back for the trial, how did that trial feel compared to playing in front of I mean, you're now trialing with a team that you played against in the trial. How did the trial feel compared to playing in front of them or I guess against them?
I feel like um personally my mentality was you were asking me to be here. And so I'm now evaluating you. Do I fit with your team, with the players, with the coaching style? Do I like it here, the facilities? Do I feel supported here? Um, so that was my mentality. Like you saw me and you picked me. Now am I picking you? Because I was practicing, I was trialing with originally supposed to be three different teams. Then playing with the girls, it was different because that team chemistry I was talking about, they have it. you don't have it, but they have it. So stepping in, it was like, okay, here's their team chemistry. Do I fit? And it was very obvious for me. Like I practiced with two different teams. One team, I think two practices each, but I was with them for a couple days. So I got to know the area a little bit. And with one team, it was obvious. Like, love the girls. They were so welcoming. And sometimes like the team you pick, like that's not gonna happen. Like it's still the right team, but that's not a real thing. So like it was like a dream. Like to have everyone on the team, like we like I hope you come back. I hope you pick us. Like the coach was great. And for me, the biggest thing was not that they were like selling me, like, we want you. This is where you'll play. This is how much you'll play. He said, I want you and I see how I can develop you. I see how I can, yeah, right?
Oh,
He said, I
ooh.
can. And I was like, oh, so, and the chemistry. One team I walked in and felt like I had been there since I was 4, like playing with these girls, like just felt comfortable with them. Stepped into another facility, felt like the ugly duckling, just no one, it's like we
Not
couldn't.
ugly. Y'all, she's not ugly. I mean, obviously, if you watch the YouTube, I just need y'all to know that this phrase is so inaccurate because my girl is
Mm.
stunning. Anyway, you felt the odd person out. We're gonna use that
Okay,
saying.
I felt the odd person out. Felt like couldn't, like, you played soccer, you do what you can, but there wasn't the chemistry. Didn't feel like the facility or like the coach was fine. It's not that there was anything bad. It just that it wasn't a good fit. And so like I felt like I could tell that from the very first practices. Like I could tell that walking into the locker room, the mentality of the team. Yes, like literally, if you would have only said walk into the locker room, do your thing, don't go to practice, who would you pick? Same thing. Like same, I would have picked, my decision would have been the same.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
so like it's also interesting because your your journey to get to where you are is so different than how I've been doing it because
Yeah.
you did multiple trials and got to have like open options for what you wanted and got to compare. I've
Yeah.
only ever done one team at a time and I'd never realized I've done it that way until we were talking and you were telling me how you went here and then you're going to try this one and then you got to compare what was the best fit for you and I've always had to just make my options work because that was what and I mean this season around, I almost flew to another trial, and I'm really glad I didn't because I could feel the energy just through the messages with the
Yeah.
coach that it
Yeah.
wasn't a good fit for me. And that, I guess, is like the closest comparison I have of I had options. It was here for Zubworken, and the way that my messages with my coach here versus the coach there, it just felt like one was more of a do it now, or it's never happening. And the other one was kind of, look, we're interested. We got to see weigh our options and see if we can make it work. But I mean, whatever you're comfortable with, we also need to be. It felt more of a professional, open conversation versus the other
Yeah.
one felt more of like a pressured decision.
Yes. In my experience, coaches who say we want you, but it's on your time, it's on you, like they genuinely want you to make a decision that fits for you. And that is your first green flag that that's like a good coach you want to play for. Like we want you now, we want you now. That's a trick. Like they're trying to
Oh,
get you because there's a reason you should not be there.
there's always like there's that underlying sketchy feeling of why do you not that you should ever take it the wrong way that someone's pressed to have you because it is for a reason, but it's
Yeah.
also that thought of now why you want me this urgently, sir? What's
Yeah.
the
Like
urgency for?
if I come check out the team first? Why do I have to sign before seeing it? Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that is a so all right. So one last question.
Okay.
So as you are transitioning into beginning to play in the Regionalliga in Germany, does this feel does it feel as natural and meant to be as you thought it would?
Yes. Like
Oh,
like I knew what I was signing up for. Like I knew being a women footballer in Europe, money was going to be tight, legal issues were going to be hard and confusing, and the language was going to be an issue. Like I knew all the issues that were going to come. Don't get me wrong, they still a couple of them hit me still hard. Like they still got me down for a second, but I feel like I was as prepared for them as I could have been. And so I the rest of it is like like playing, so waking up and being like, I have soccer practice tonight, like at a high level, like it's just like, yeah, like that is what it's meant to be. Me doing Duolingo every day, trying to learn the language, like taking the bus, like it is exactly how I was like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is of course, like in my mind, of course, this is where I am in my life. Like this is how it was supposed to be. Like, duh, like I could be nowhere else. Like, so yes, it feels natural. And I think it's more because like obviously we want it so much and we love it, but I fully knew like the challenges that were going to be there. So it's not like I was like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just get myself into? I was like, oh, yep, I knew this was going to be a struggle, but it's worth it.
It's always, ugh. And spoiler alert, y'all, we could be playing against each other.
Oh, oh, oh.
Kat and I are in the same Regional Liga league, and
What state?
it's gonna be a rival. Not to say that I'm gonna come for you, but this friendship may have to be put on pause for about 90 minutes plus halftime. But
Yeah.
also, uh, I'm really thankful that the way our positions are on the field is that there's a very minimal chance that we'll actually have to physically come in contact with each other because
Yeah.
as look, we're professional. Okay, don't get me wrong. We know how to handle our business,
Yeah.
but also I'm gonna need to really do some meditation before this game. I'm like, hey now, I don't care if you know her. None of that.
No, that morning, Nat who?
Who
I don't know.
blocked? Oh, block you. I will block you.
And then we'll take pictures after the game. I don't know what.
Absolutely. You know what else is super crazy? So because the team that you're assigned to is the team that we played against in the combine, I also have now like I kind of know those girls better just because we played against them, and there's more of a friendly relationship that even me as someone who's playing against them in the league that I have playing with them. Like after the game we were like high-fiving and hugging. I was like, wait, I'm
Yeah,
supposed to hate y'all.
aren't they just the best? Like, wait,
It was, look, all I'm saying is my girl better get taken care of. This is not a threat. Just to put that out there because I know people be twisting words. I'm not threatening nobody. I'm just saying I will ride for my girl. So Germany, be good to her
no,
because
they got me. They got me.
they better. Shoot, you ain't that far from me.
Oh,
People better. Oh, that sounded like a threat. It wasn't
that's
a
a
threat.
threat for legal purposes.
For legal
That was
purposes,
not,
as a disclaimer,
but fuck around.
find out. Do I need to put the graph? Do I need to edit that video of that guy doing the graph? The level of fuck around and the level of find out. So I mean, we're the American duo in Deutschland. We came up with
American
that. The American Spy. We came up with that during the combine. And, okay, just another quick note.
Spy.
We manifested the hell out of this.
Oh my. We were in a car saying, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go home. You're going to come back. You're going to play. At the end of this season, we will both have been playing Regional Liga. We both would have balled out. And then we have options. And so later on in our careers, we will be playing for the same team at a higher level. Step one has already been completed, guys. Like, we're here. We're starting to play. We just have to finish out this season. And then we'll. Anyway, stay
Like,
tuned.
I just stay tuned because it's just the beginning. When I tell you we was in the back of a car just kikiing, we were literally just like, and Flo and Nico in the front are like, what's going on back there? We're like, nothing. We're just planning our futures together.
Okay. What are you doing? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Nothing. As I'm writing out a draft message to your mother.
Wait, the writing an essay to my mother. That bitch was long.
I was just because I was thinking, like, what would I tell my mom if I was about to fly home in 3 days, but also about to dip out again in like
Yeah,
the same month?
yeah,
Like, be prepared. I love you, but I also miss you already again because I'm really not staying.
yeah.
Like, I'm really
But like,
not.
so like I love you, miss you, but I don't want to be here. I want to go.
I don't. The amount of my mom has just stopped asking me when I'm coming home.
Uh,
Like now that Europe is very much like when I tell y'all I'm staying in this joint, they can't get rid of me. I'm speaking that into existence. Y'all can't get rid of me. My black behind gonna be in Deutschland. Okay, I'm here. This is where my career gonna be. High levels of football. She's just stopped asking me like when I'm coming home, and now she's just like, so when can you visit for a hot second? Because she knows I'm not gonna stay.
Because it's just a it's not coming home. We're just visiting at this point. Yeah.
I'm just visiting. This is not my home currently. I do not reside here.
Mhm. This is not my mail.
Mm.
Amazon goes somewhere else.
Yo, I had to change my Amazon address. Again, I do not support Amazon for real, but also I'm a human being and I do live in a capitalistic society and I'm a part of society. And yes, I do use that junk sometimes. But I had to change my address
Minimal. Yeah.
because look,
That's when you start getting packages and it's not to mom that you're like, Mom, can you send that to me? It's to your yeah.
you're new in a new country. Having to, okay, I don't know about you, but like my address in Germany, having to learn how to say my street name, having to remember it because they also write things. So we put, I don't know if it's the same thing in Louisiana. We put the house number and then the street name and then the zip. They put the street name and then the number.
And then yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I still don't have it memorized. I'm getting closer to it. But if you ask me where I live, I can give you bits and pieces of it.
Please don't get lost.
I have it pinned on my Google Maps.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. I'm learning it.
Okay, people be asking me where I live. I'm like, you know that big behind building that's next to that other building? Yeah, that's where I live at. I'm like, don't ask me. And then the worst is when they be like, where you live? And I give them the name of my street and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, why'd you ask? If you don't know the city that well.
Nat, how many people ask you where you live? I don't know if you should be telling people that. That seems unsafe.
Oh my God, I didn't. I'm I'm gonna be 28 in like 2 weeks. I need to learn more safety. No, I'm not, it's not strangers. It's people I know. But also maybe I really just shouldn't be telling people where I live anyway, even if I know you. Also, don't show up at my house. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm not telling nobody where I live. I don't need nobody popping up at my home because this place is for me. This is my space. Other than the mailman, please find me. Give me my.
Please get packages.
Oh, that's another thing, girl. Be prepared for mail in German. It's stressful. Ask for help. I almost got fined over 700 euros for my what was it? My electricity? Because they sent me like 4 letters in the mail. And girl, I opened everyone like, they've been blowing me up.
German. German.
And in my head, like the way it was set up was each one had like the previous month. So they were just like lining up. So in my head, I was like, oh, they're just updating me on the months. Like, thank you. And then I went out to dinner with my teammate and I showed her a picture of it because I was supposed to send it to my landlord. And I just didn't because this was all happening during the combine that the mail was coming in. So I was just like, combine, I don't have time for mail. I don't have time for bills. Who pay your bills, y'all? So I was just, letting my mail build up like I wasn't a whole adult with responsibilities. And I'm out to dinner with my teammate, mind you, she's 19, right? So like
A
she
baby.
barely knows about bills, right? But she speaks German. So I said, hey girl, look at this picture. What does it say? She says, Natalia, we're going to the bank right now. I said, why? What happened? She said, if you don't pay this by Monday, mind you, it was Friday at 10 p.m. So the banks were closed and we're going into the weekend. She goes, if you don't pay this by Monday, they're going to fine you over 700 euros. I said, huh? Like, I wish you could have seen, like, I felt every part of me sink into the chair into this restaurant. And it just, I was like, what you mean 700? She's like, yeah, girl, if you don't pay this bill by Monday, they're gonna charge you 700 euro fine. I said, well, let's go to the bank. She was like,
We
yeah.
we gotta we gotta go.
We paid that check for the dinner so fast. I said, half half. We got the same jaunt. Split that on a half, take the tip. We got to bounce. So we like walked straight to the bank and we walked in there. And thankfully, she's German because we're trying to figure out how to pay it. So the way my bank works is you can go into, there's an after hours section of the bank that they keep open.
God
And
bless.
God bless. So, because I couldn't remember my password to my online bank app. So could girl look, listen, the combine really took a lot out of me.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
wasn't ready. I was in it. We were in a bubble, y'all. Like those 10 days just felt like a different reality. So
Oh,
coming back to my reality, sitting at dinner, being told I'm about to be fined 700 euros. I said, let's go. We get into the bank and we're like trying to figure it out. She's looking at the email. We're typing in all the information. Tell me why the payment didn't go through. And they tried to say that I didn't have enough money. I said, wait a minute. That's not good. I said, wait, I'm broke. So I was like, no, that's not true. I'm not broke. I have enough money. You ain't gonna play me like this. I know I'm fine. So then we do it again and we like figured it out. And it's like sent me a notification saying it should be paid by Monday. And as soon as I got home, I was rifling through all my paperwork that had been put to the side. And I was like, where that password at? I went to the password. I looked at my app. It said paid. And then on Monday, I checked again and it said paid. I said, Lord, I've been checking the mail every day, making sure they ain't send me another mail saying I'm fined 700 euros. I've been stressed. Ain't nobody got 700 euros.
ain't no ain't no woman football player got 700 euros.
Like 700 as a fine on top of rent,
On
utilities,
top of the bill.
groceries. I would have been, look, OnlyFans
Deported.
is never not an option.
No, it's always on the table.
It's always on the
Oh,
table. Also, as an athlete, people like feet stuff. I'm just not above it.
look, I want to be high and say it's like my plan Z. It's a plan C, like not
And
Z.
so let's say there's a capital B. It's probably my lowercase b before C.
Like just being honest here. So, hey, women footballers.
Plan A is women's football. Plan capital B is a normal person's job, and lowercase b is OnlyFans. Hoping we don't need to get to C because God knows what C would be.
So at that point, someone come get me.
Right now, if I make an OnlyFans and it fails, my self-esteem would be in hell.
I
The
mean, let's
confidence.
be making bank.
Look, I'm just saying. We have a very specific audience. I feel like people who love sports women love sports women. So all I'm saying is sex work is real work. We support our sex workers. Make it legal, make it safe. All right. My job. Thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. It made me podcast, my podcast.
Rewind
Uh-uh.
that.
Thank you so much for joining me on my podcast and having to answer all of my questions I have for you and giving a little insight to your little personal life. I appreciate it and your time.
Oh no, it was a blast. I love you. Love seeing you. So excited to be on the podcast. Loved answering all the questions. Love talking. So it's all good.
Look, you heard about the idea of the podcast in the combine. I remember being like, guys, if I made a podcast, would you want to be on it and would you listen to it?
I was like, yeah, did you start it already? Can I listen? Can I subscribe? Can I please be on it? Like it was the same thing. It was like, oh my God, she's asking me to be on her podcast. Meanwhile, I'd just be a subscriber. And you're like, no, be on it. And I'm like, holy shit.
I texted you and I was like, hey, so are you free? Because you're gonna be on it. You were like, okay. And I was like, okay. Meanwhile, I'm like nervous to interview. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I get to interview her. It's so cool. Like I feel super cool like being able to interview people. I'm like, wow, I get to interview these cool women. This is dope.
Oh, look at us.
Look at us doing the damn thing. Oh wow. Wow. Anyway, okay. Well, thank you for joining. And we gonna speak soon. We gonna play against each other soon. Be ready to be blocked. So
Yeah. And then be ready for pictures after. Of
absolutely.
course.
Make sure your hair's did that day. Okay.